What do you mean we're already starting? Oh, it's 5:05, 5:15. Why did you let me stay in the green room for so long? Oh, boy. No, yeah, you're right. Hey, you're right. Don't blame the producer. Blame the show host for being late coming out of the green room. I hear you. Corey Johnson back at you. Wow. Come on. Got to get this thing going. Got to get it going right. Jeez, Yeah, you right. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Hey, in about 10 minutes, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungeser joins us on the program live. Yeah, you right. Fired up about that on this wide open Wednesday. Hey, a ton of ways to check out the program. Lots of ways to check us out. You can check us out via the radio. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. 93.9 FM. And then on the back end of the radio dial, yes, another FM frequency where you can check out the program. New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. 107.9 FM. You can check us out on television, Cox Channel 4 TV. Weekday afternoons, 4 to 5:30. The talk radio program on radio, talk radio program, 2 big hours, 4 to 6 weekdays. We're on TV 4 to 5:30. The first 90 minutes of the 2-hour talk radio program, simulcast on television, Cox Channel 4 statewide, Spectrum Channel 333 statewide. You can check us out via the intranet device. Go to our website, CoreyTalks.com. Corey spelled K-A-A-R-E, CoreyTalks.com. Or you can check us out on YouTube. Do me a favor, go to YouTube. Put in that search bar, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson, and then click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost anything. 4 o'clock hour this afternoon, brought to you by Leidenheimer Baking Company. Since 1896, what a New Orleans story. What an American story. 5 generations of New Orleanians baking that French bread right here in the Crescent City. They've been doing it for over 125 years, into their 3rd century. 1800s, 1900s, 2000s, still baking that Leidenheimer French bread you love. Age-old recipe, has to be the New Orleans water. I could go on and on. There's science behind that Leidenheimer loaf you love. Served in the city's finest restaurants. It's not a New Orleans authentic po' boy unless it's on Leidenheimer French bread. 4 o'clock hour, brought to you by Leidenheimer Baking Company, the official French bread of the Crescent City, huh? Good one lined up for you. Like I said, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungeser is going to join us in a few minutes on the program. They had a Super Bowl deal go down today in New Orleans. The governor, the mayor, Gail Benson, February 9th, 11 and a half months away? February 9th, 2025, Super Bowl 59, the 8th in the Dome, the 11th in the city, tying Miami. You all know the drill. Super Bowl City, compact, easy to get around, tough to beat. Tough to beat. And no knocking Vegas. Vegas, you know what's great about Vegas for a Super Bowl? There's a ton of distractions and shows and golf courses and great restaurants and all kind of great clubs and late night music stuff and all kind of other crazy stuff going on. It's sort of all make believe. There is no culture, unless you want to call that the culture. There is no culture. There is no history. There is no architecture. They've got some people there now that have been in Las Vegas for decades and decades, but still pretty much a transient city. Lots of folks moving there. Better chance you're going to meet someone from somewhere else than from Las Vegas when you're there. I'm talking living there, not tourists. So, yeah, it doesn't really have I'd say like a music scene, but there are concerts and things that come in. But it's not like Las Vegas Music City, you know? And the food is mostly high-end casino, high-end restaurants serving, great steaks and great chefs coming in and putting their spin on a high-end restaurant. But I would assume that middle of the road and low-end food, cost-wise in Las Vegas is terrible. Anywhere USA, it's the middle of the desert. Like I said, no culture. So anyway, Las Vegas has a lot of things going for them, especially for a weekend and putting on a show and in and out. Land on Friday, leave on Monday. They're great. New Orleans is great at that too, but there's so much more. You can stay here a while. No one wants to go to Las Vegas. Dude, I'm going to Vegas for about 3 weeks. No one on planet Earth wants to go to Vegas for 3 weeks. No one. But you could come down to New Orleans. You could just settle in, not be a tourist, be a local. No, New Orleans gets to put on the big show. New Orleans gets to do it. Real New Orleans. Real people, real food, real music, real culture, real neighborhoods. No, the real Super Bowl City, coming up in less than a year. We're getting ready for it. I've mentioned many times, besides the obvious, hey, it's Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. Huge economic impact, $500, $600, $700 million plus. The numbers just keep going up every year. Huge marketing tool. We're a tourism convention city. It's great for us. I also like in 2024, Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, probably ground zero for, America, Fortune 500 company CEOs, billionaires, movers and shakers, decision makers, hundreds and hundreds, if not a few thousand of them in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. I'm talking about significant Fortune 500 CEOs, billionaires, wealthy people, decision makers, mover and shaker types. Could be a few thousand in New Orleans. The opportunity for New Orleans and Company, the mayor, the governor, Michael Hecht at Greater New Orleans Inc., to go in and, put the full court press on those people. Get them to bring some businesses, lure some companies here, that type of thing. Get New Orleans going in the right direction. We need some investment and push the anti-Austin. We're the anti-Nashville. We're the anti-Atlanta. We're the anti-Dallas, Houston. You could drug someone in those cities, literally. Fly them to another city, put them in some new cul-de-sac neighborhood, golf course community, and they think they're still in their city if they lived in Austin, Houston, Dallas, Atlanta, Nashville. It would be impossible to fool someone. Like a European friend said, man, in New Orleans, it's the only place in America where you know where you are. To these Europeans, it's just homogenous, generic, just anywhere USA, everywhere in New Orleans. In America, excuse me. And then you get to New Orleans, you're like, wow. No, it's a European masterpiece. We get to showcase. We get to put on our Super Bowl. So fired up about that. And yes, the economic impact's great. There's no doubt. Trying to land some jobs and all that with these Fortune 500 folks, bringing a headquarters here, getting some manufacturing jobs here, getting some white-collar jobs in the CBD, of course. But also, I like fire under our rear end. I like a sense of urgency. I like New Orleans under the gun. Bad thing to say, I guess, in New Orleans, huh? Under pressure. Have to get it done? A deadline? Super Bowl's coming? Get to clean up things, straighten up things. Maybe it's permanent. Different mindset. Corey Johnson with you. Wide Open Wednesday. Yeah, you right. Thanks so much for joining us. Billy Nungeser, Lieutenant Governor. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on radio, on television. Hey, we're on YouTube now. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Lieutenant Governor and head of Louisiana tourism, essentially, Billy Nungeser joins us on the program. How you doing, Billy?
I'm doing great, my friend. How are you?
Doing well. Doing well. Hey, you kind of, I guess, can live the best of both worlds. You're like a Bayou boy from down in Plaquemine, but you're a Metro New Orleanian too, right?
All over, brother. I'm all over the state and lived from here to Lafayette, a little bit in between.
Billy, I got a buddy of mine who I play golf with. He lives on the West Bank, but he's a Bayou country boy. But he's like, I'll see him at Tipitina's with his wife, listening to music or something one night. And then me and my brother, because we're city boys, we're scared by the pond to pull a ball out. And he just grabs the snake by the head and grabs the ball with the other hand. You know, we're just like, wow. So he's a country boy and a city boy. You kind of have that going for you.
I don't know about grabbing a snake, though. I don't think I'm that brave.
Yeah, no, me neither. I'm strictly a pudding. I'm a city boy only. I need my, all of that. Hey, a big event today. The mayor in town, obviously. I say that in jest. Junket Cantrell. The governor was in town. Gail Benson in town. February 9th, 2025, Billy, Super Bowl 59 right here in the Crescent City. That's as good as it gets.
It is. If we can get this city cleaned up and shining, it can be a great opportunity to promote the city and the state to the world, or it could be a black eye if we don't get to work. And I'm really concerned the crack streets. We can't afford to say the night before the Super Bowl that pump number 4 is not working. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of work to do in a short amount of time, and I'm hoping we can all work hard together and make that happen.
Billy, I have Michael Hecht on the program every Friday from Greater New Orleans. I suggested hiring some company, people from New York, hiring a separate company that doesn't know you're hiring the other one from Los Angeles. Have several different people fly in several different times at Louis Armstrong, at Lakefront Airport, take the drive into the hotels naturally, and tell us what doesn't look good, what needs to be cleaned up, what looks bad, what looks good, what we should put a spotlight on, what we should, amplify maybe. I just think we're all numb to that a little bit, Billy. We're numb to our surroundings.
I think we all know what we got to do. We got to clean it up. We got to fix the streets and sidewalks, the street lights. We've got to get the pumps and clean the drains so we don't flood with every rain. I think the governor stepped up and put the police in the quarter, which is really going to help. And hopefully some of these changes in the laws are going to keep the bad guys behind bars. But that road from, you mentioned Lakefront Airport, Morrison Road is not a very attractive road. I'm hoping we can get those people in private jets to take the lakefront.
Yeah.
But we've got to clean up everything from the airports. And listen, there'll be people staying in Baton Rouge and a lot of people driving in. It'll fill every hotel in a large area of Louisiana. So it's not just New Orleans, but New Orleans better shine. And the streets in front of the Superdome right now, you bottom out with your car. There's so many bad spots.
Right in front of the dome.
You can't walk in the French Quarter without falling in the middle of the street because instead of resurfacing it, they patch these holes. They've got to resurface and fix the roads the right way. We got a lot of work to do. And then my recommendation is to get some murals painted on some of these boarded up buildings, so at least it looks attractive. We got to put our best foot forward.
That's a brilliant idea. Bill, you throw out two great things I'm going to pound on for the next year. Two of them you bring up. One, no one landing in a private jet. The limos should not go up Morrison and get on I-10 at Chef Highway. They should be forced. There should be police blocking Morrison where they are forced to go Lakeshore Drive to Canal Boulevard to I-610 and go downtown that way. I'm dead serious. We cannot have them go up Morrison, and get on by Chef Highway. That's a great point. And then your other point, we have so many artists, I'm sure folks like Joey Helm at Helm Paint and Decorating, they'll supply the paint, Let's get a bunch of murals painted with really good artists. Let's get some raps going with the athletes covering blighted buildings, the stuff that doesn't look good. No, we've got to cover up the crap with some banners or paint or fencing or trees, something.
You know, under the interstate where a lot of the homeless are, if they put a screen with some nice Mardi Gras floats in that fenced area, if they don't get them off the street, they need to move all the homeless into that fenced area with a nice screen with Mardi Gras floats on it, so they're out of the view of the public.
No, I know it sounds harsh or cruel, or someone will do a news story. Here's where New Orleans hides their homeless, but no, I think that's not going to be a problem. It looks like crime. At least there's an honest fight against that. The pumps are across your fingers. They are what they are. That substation's not going to be ready. All we can do is hope and pray on that. But the other stuff, the cleanup, polishing, putting our best foot forward, we can do that. The problem is, Billy, it's February 9th, 2025. It's 11 and a half months away. It seems like the ants should already be on the sugar cube. We should be seeing massive cleanups all over the city right now.
Yeah, absolutely right. You know, as parish president, I went through 5 hurricanes and the oil spill, and we were able to get everything rebuilt, redone, and they've got all this money still from the hurricane that they haven't spent in New Orleans, and I don't know if they're not hiring competent people. I don't know what the problem is, but it's not because of lack of money, and I'm hoping we can get our act together and get things rolling.
Hey, as Lieutenant Governor, you're also like head of Louisiana tourism, right?
Yep.
Without being like a proactive jerk and stepping on people's toes, what can you do as Lieutenant Governor for New Orleans? As Lieutenant Governor, like, I'm not saying like without the mayor or the council's approval, but what are some of the things you can do as Lieutenant Governor to help the city?
Well, you know, we had a plan to take over the French Quarter and drew up all the things that need to be fixed. I've offered myself to come to as many meetings, help organize whatever I can do to help, but they have to put out the work and get the work done because they've got the money in the city of New Orleans. And so will make myself available and my staff to, if we got to go ride the streets and make a list, whatever we got to do. And I think everybody's willing to do that. We just got to see it happen and come together quickly. The clock is ticking.
No, the clock is ticking big time. Billy, I look at this in 3 ways. One is what we're talking about, that this is a good thing. There's a deadline. There's a sense of urgency. New Orleans needs to get its act together. Otherwise, it would always be tomorrow. Tomorrow's February 9th. The economic impact's going to be tremendous. That's definitely a big benefit. But also, Billy, these CEOs and billionaires and decision makers and movers and shakers, we got to get on a few dozen of them and get some jobs for this city and state, right?
Well, I think if you make the city shine and you show a good time, it can be an economic benefit as well, where companies, CEOs, and their corporate boards will be here partying for the Super Bowl. It may make them think about locating or opening a branch here. So I think anytime, and that's why, you know, since I took over Keep Louisiana Beautiful, we want to clean up this state because it has been a very dirty state, and we've got a lot of work to do in that regard. But we're going to stay the course until Louisiana is litter-free, and we can do it. It's been done in other states, and we're on a mission to do that as well.
No, we need to make Louisiana litter-free and make New Orleans not the filthiest city in America. Hey, what did you learn in Las Vegas, Billy?
Well, I tell you, we had great meetings, everything from security to preparation to things we've got to do. The one thing I'll tell you, the traffic there was horrible. And I remember a good friend of mine drove the owner of the Patriots when they were in New Orleans. And the owner told the limo driver that New Orleans was the only city where he could make every event for Super Bowl week because of traffic or distance.
Yeah, a mile apart.
And that stuck with me, sitting in traffic for over an hour, to get from one event to the other in Las Vegas. And so we can get everything else in shape. Everything being close together is a real asset when they rating and voting on the next Super Bowl. Because no matter how many parties you have, if you can't get back and forth to them or events, if you miss a few because of traffic or the length of area you have to travel to, so I think that's a real advantage in New Orleans. So many hotels in walking distance. I think that's a real plus. But we got to fix those streets and sidewalks from the stadium all the way to the quarter and beyond.
Yep, we got to make all that look perfect. Billy Nungeser, Lieutenant Governor, State of Louisiana. As always, thanks, Billy.
Thank you, my friend. I'll see you soon.
All right, talk to you soon. That's Billy Nungeser joining us on the program. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. Thanks so much for joining us on a Wide Open Wednesday edition of the program. I love Wide Open Wednesdays. Middle of the week. Hey, Young's Dry Cleaning. Since 1940, 84 years of excellence. They truly are a New Orleans institution. You want to experience the best dry cleaner? YoungsDryCleaning.com. Tired of your dry cleaner? Want to experience the best? YoungsDryCleaning.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right.
It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe. For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer. Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. If you missed the first segment, or I guess that would be the second segment, we just visited for about 12 minutes with Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungeser, head of tourism in Louisiana. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungeser on the program talking about today, the governor, the lieutenant governor, the mayor, Gail Benson. Super Bowl 59 coming to the Crescent City. Super Bowl 59, February 9th, 2025, about 11 and a half months away. Now, Billy is so right, about the roads from Lakefront Airport to downtown New Orleans. Now, Morrison has to be shut down, serious, local traffic only, direct every limo driver, any car that's going to pick up people at Lakefront Airport. They take the Seabrook Bridge, they get off of Leon C. Simon and go to Lakeshore Drive, and they take Lakeshore Drive to Canal Boulevard, hook a left on Canal Boulevard and go Canal Boulevard to I-610 and get on there and go downtown. That should be the route for the rich folks getting off their planes at Lakefront Airport to come to the city. And some of you folks can roll your eyes and whatever. No, it's vitally important. It's really, really important because that's the impression they get. And that impression, we may know that, boy, you go down Franklin instead of, Canal Boulevard to the I-610 and get on there. No, Franklin probably wouldn't be the best street to go down because it's bumpy, it's crappy. The houses in Gentilly are nice, but there's lots of gaps and things in between that are sort of questionable. Not the, best looking area. It's not a bad looking area. I grew up near that area. Young's Dry Cleaning is right in the middle of that area. I know that area well. I have friends that live in Gentilly. But that wouldn't be good. Elysian Fields, same thing. There's some good, and then there's some not so good. Canal Boulevard, good and nice and clean the whole way through. And sorry, folks, no one's seeing any demographics. They don't know if people are white or black or what neighborhood you're bringing them in. So you can throw that out the window. These are out-of-towners that don't know anything, and this is their impression. So Billy's right. Going up Morrison to Chef Highway and getting on I-10 there and going over the high rise and taking the I-10 in that way is a nightmare, is a mistake. No, take the lakefront, go Canal Boulevard. Give these folks a different perspective of New Orleans that are coming from Lakefront Airport. And then coming in from Kenner. No, the ride in from Kenner, from the airport, down I-10, into the city, exiting off downtown. Billy is right again. Blighted buildings, things that are ugly. He said, paint them, put up a mural. Brilliant. We've got so many great artists. I mentioned Helm Paint and Decorating. You get folks like that to donate the paint or at cost or at a discount, whatever. You get all these murals painted on blighted buildings, on blighted property. You get, those wraps. You see the big athlete wraps that come when there's a Super Bowl or something, 10 stories tall, by, 100 yards across, whatever, however big. You get a bunch of those and wrap up stuff from the airport all the way to downtown, Jefferson included, that does not look good. That's not up to par. And there's little things like the fencing along the interstate in Metairie. It has to be uniform and nice and everything cut and clean and no trash and litter and no broken tires on the interstate. It's got to be perfect. Every light working on the interstate from the airport in Kenner through Metairie into New Orleans, every light on the interstate working. How about power washing parts of the interstate, the railings, those types of things, especially in New Orleans? The piping on those interstates, consolidate pipes from exits or areas where they have that old 60s area piping decoration on top of the interstate, consolidate it and make sure wherever there's piping that is seen coming in from the airport to the city, it's all there. There's no pipes missing. That ornamentation garbage. No, we have to think about all of this. That's why we need to bring in experts from out of town. Fly them in on private jets, fly them into Louis Armstrong, some from New York, some from California, all of them thinking they're the only one doing it. And you might have a few dozen doing it, riding in and critiquing. That looks good. That looks like crap. Put a spotlight on that. I came in at night. I couldn't see that. That thing's beautiful. That's ugly. Hide that. Get rid of that. No, a lot of murals. It should be ants on a sugar cube mentality right now, 11 and a half months out. Should be cutting down, weeds and trees and debris in different places, making sure it doesn't come back, putting concrete over it, whatever. I mean, I exit, say, like, not that anyone's going to be exiting there. It's on the route. I'm just thinking of an area that has it. You exit on Franklin. I'm bringing up Franklin off the I-10. Actually, it'd be I-610. There is no Franklin exit off I-10. It's I-610 Franklin exit. Right when you come down, there's, the big concrete columns where the train trellis is, and then they're just weeds growing out beyond the concrete. I guess the Pontchartrain Expressway where people will be coming, right there. Pontchartrain Expressway at City Park Avenue. The I-10 at City Park Avenue. By the train tracks. Have the railroad come in and maintain that. If that's not their prerogative, have the city come in and concrete over that so nothing can grow there, and make it the porous concrete that will absorb the water so it's not a flooding thing. But you got to get rid of the weeds and the crap. We're numb to it. We can't do it. I'm pretty good at pulling myself outside the bubble with things that are close to me, things that I like, I love, I'm passionate about, and can do that. Not just a fan or someone connected to it. I can do that. I'm a New Orleanian. I'm going to go by so many things that other folks that do this would see. We're numb to the weeds. We're numb to the potholes. We're numb to the mattress on the neutral ground. We're numb to the blighted building. We don't even see these things anymore. And if we do see them clearly, we accept them as normal because they've been there for so many years. When I was married, my in-laws would come in. Leon, just really great guy. Former, what would he be, uncle-in-law? They had a pothole in front, like 50 feet from the house. And he'd come in and that pothole, he'd hit it. They'd come in from Ohio about once a year from Ohio. That pothole's still there, he'd say. That pothole's still there. It's like 3 years running. We called it Leon's pothole. We accepted it. We drove around it. We didn't even think about it until Leon would come in town. And he wasn't being a jerk. He's just like in shock. He's from Cleveland. And the streets aren't like New Orleans, just blown away. No, we need to start cleaning up, beautification. It needs to be ants on a sugar cube mentality, and it needed to start yesterday. And I don't think the city's got any kind of let's go. They think they're going to do it like start 90 days out cutting grass up because why cut it now? It's like because you're eliminating it. That weed, that water tree, whatever you want to call that weed that's 30 feet high. You know, I mentioned Young's and Franklin and Fillmore. I was talking about Vasquez yesterday with the New Orleans caller, that building where they got pre-Katrina that sat there across from Young's, from Old Teddy's Grill, the bakery, all that stuff. I think it's Fiorella's Fried Chicken, Franklin and Fillmore. That building had like what you call like a rain tree, like one of those weeds. Thing was 2 stories tall, growing through inside the building through the roof of the second floor. Just a weed. No, there's a lot of those all over the city, everywhere. Murals, wraps, you know, showcase all our athletes, showcase New Orleans culture. The people coming in from out of town, they're not going, wow, they're covering up blight. They're going, wow, they're showcasing New Orleans. Look at it. That's about Mardi Gras. That's about Jazz Fest dates. That's about, you know, home of jazz, home of all modern music. Oh, wow, that one's about the Saturn V rocket. That's about the space shuttle tank. I mean, it's endless. Horse and buggy, French Quarter, 3 miles ahead. Just put the banners up, the murals, the wraps all over the place. Make it like one big ad. Cover up all the crap, and there's a lot of crap. We're numb to it. We need outside experts to come and drive those routes. Billy nailed it. Lakefront Airport, all the bigwigs, the fans are flying into Louis Armstrong. The millionaires and billionaires, the rich and wealthy, they're flying into the lakefront on their private jet. They can't go Morrison Road. Seriously? To Chef Highway? And get on right there. What's that, by Banner? Right there on the Chef and get on the I-10 at the high rise? Yeah, that's good. No, you force them to go lakefront to not Franklin, not Elysian Fields, to Canal Boulevard, to I-610 and have them loop around and go down the CBD that way. Plus, it cuts out the pathway into the city you have to clean up. A little I-610 from Canal Boulevard to the I-10, and then I-10 from the airport to the CBD. Make it look perfecto. No, that's the first thing they will see.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
That's what I said. Leidenheimer. That's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home, and Helm Paint Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us. Billy Nungeser was with us a little while ago. If you want to check that out via YouTube, around 4:30, what was it, 4:20, I should say. Around 4:20 to 4:30 or so. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungeser talking tourism, talking Super Bowl. Today, the Lieutenant Governor, the mayor, Gail Benson, kind of the official kickoff. Billy was in Las Vegas for the Super Bowl, like handing over the keys. Hey, we did it. Now it's y'all's deal. Yeah, it's 11 and a half months away. New Orleans should already be in Super Bowl mode right now, like a real sense of urgency, cleaning up the city, because it's going to take a long time. It's going to take a concerted effort. I mean, where are the volunteers? Where are the neighborhood groups? The keys are the arteries in and out of the city, the Lakefront Airport to downtown, the Kenner Airport to downtown, and then hotels and in and around hotels and convention center to the Dome from those areas, Poydras in and out of the French Quarter. Things like that. Faubourg, Marigny, Tremé, Rampart, McShay Place, the little curve before it turns into St. Claude by St. Bernard Avenue. All of that needs to be cleaned up. How about planting some palm trees, planting some azaleas, getting some more shrubbery and trees, more greenery? A third of the tree canopy of New Orleans is gone the last 20 years. Again, things we're numb to. My buddy who is a New Orleans native, lives in Denver, hadn't been here for about 5 years, flies in with his family. He's like, dude, I notice a lot less trees. That's just an observation of his. That's a problem. We're numb to it. We see a tree go down and whatever. I mean, I'm coming up. It's sinful. I'm coming up Britannia. I hit from the CBD towards Uptown. I hit Napoleon. I look at, Sophie Wright School. All the oak trees are gone in front. And the city came up, the public schools came up with some BS thing like the trees were falling or they had termites or whatever. It's like, wow, just that block of oak trees where the rest of Napoleon is full of old oak trees. I mean, who gave the green light? What moron, what single individual, what idiot gave the green light on cutting down those trees? I'm going to find out the single individual that pulled that stunt off. And then who was the tree company that cut down these oak trees? What tree company cut down those oak trees? Who paid that tree company? No, it's sinful. about a half dozen oak trees that are like, take 3 or 4 people holding hands to wrap their hands around. Hundreds of years old. Not 50 years old, not 80 years old, like 150 plus years old. Look at the oak trees, some of them around Napoleon. Look at the ones especially down closer to the river. Planted from the river out. Look at the ones by Sophie Wright that are gone. And then you have like a firehouse across the street, the back of Superior Grill where there are no trees. Those trees were important. And because some jackass with Orleans Parish Public Schools or some city entity that had no idea what they were doing buzzed down a half dozen oak trees that together 1,000 plus years old. Just insane. Dopey, crazy decisions. Probably some payoff to the tree cutter or somebody. No, and it doesn't look good. The opposite of the direction we need to be going in. No, so as a local, that was glaring. That just stood out. Wow, look at the trees gone. Because it was 6 in a row on Napoleon that have been there my entire life, my mom's life, my grandmother's life, her grandmother's life. Been here since the 1800s. And some moron who's clueless buzzes 6 trees in a row down because they're a danger to what? The trees that have been there for 150 years are a danger to what? No, it's just that's the kind of crazy stuff that goes down. But the point is, it was glaring and I noticed it. A tree here, a tree there. You know, Shane Guidry, I'm going to cut that tree down in the middle of the night in Old Metairie because I have the wherewithal and I can do it and nothing's going to happen to me or I'll pay the fine. There's something wrong with that, you know? It's not good. Wasn't cool of Shane Guidry to do that. Old oak tree, huge oak tree, 100 years old on North Line. He didn't want it, gets it cut down in the middle of the night and it's gone. Some little slap on the wrist. Just, it's a joke. It's a joke. No, we got a Super Bowl coming up. We need to get our act together. We need to do things that benefit the city, and we need to focus in on the areas. The whole city needs fixing. Don't have time for that right now. Got to focus in on the areas where the tourists are going to be. I'd be cleaning up. I mean, Bourbon Street is a dump. It's a toilet. I've talked about reimagining Bourbon Street on this program for years and years and years. I've heard not a single New Orleanian ever, not a cab driver, not a friend, not a leader, not a politician, no one ever mentioned, ever think about reimagining Bourbon Street. A little late to get rid of the strip joints, big-ass beer, daiquiri shops, all that, but we can clean it up. Royal Street, clean it up. Frenchman, clean it up. Power washing, clean it up. Perfect. Get the old Sidney Torres lemon scent going in the quarter. St. Charles Avenue, make it perfect. Warehouse District, perfect. You like Billy said, have you driven in front of the Dome? The just dips in the street and potholes that will beat the crap out of your suspension, make you yell, angry. That hurts my car. Do that 10 times. I'm going to need a new rim and tire and strut or shock. Now, that's in front of the Dome where we're hosting the Super Bowl in 11 and a half months. Drive up Poydras from Claiborne to like St. Charles Avenue on Poydras. And we're having a Super Bowl in 11 and a half months. What's that, Blue Boy? You wouldn't want to walk up Poydras with your paws. You might fall into a hole and break them. 5 o'clock powwow next.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French Bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got.
Oh, no.
Taking a break from all.
There we go again.
Sure would help a lot.
The suits upstairs trying to push Cheers reruns on me again. I've told them no before. I'm telling them no now. There will be no Cheers reruns this afternoon. Attention, corporate suits upstairs. I'm not running Cheers reruns. I'm looking for Mr. Drew Brees. It's the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. We're not in Boston. Damn straight. This is New Orleans, not Beantown, where it's probably very, very cold, I would imagine. Not here in the Crescent City. What an outstanding weather day. A glorious weather day in New Orleans. Temperatures in the mid to high 60s. Sunny as can be out there. Just so nice. It's going to be a nice evening, too. And when you wake up in the morning, 58, 59, 60 degrees in New Orleans proper. Some, yeah, you right, weather. Lots of sunshine. Looks like a really good weekend. High temperatures for like the next week. Low 70s, 70, 71, 72, 73. High temps. We start off just about every morning somewhere in the 50s. And then just lots of 60s and sunshine over the next 4, 5, 6 days, including the weekend. Some, yeah, you right weather. Tomorrow could have a little cloudy wind, but basically it's going to be Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday into Monday through the weekend. 50s to start the day, low 70s the high. That means lots of 60s and sunshine. Yeah, you right, like today. A duplication of today for the next few days, including this weekend. Get outside. Make plans to get outside because this is California, Honolulu type weather. Is as good a weather as you can get anywhere in the world. We got it going right now in New Orleans, and it's going for the next few days. So get outside, enjoy it. Drop the coals, boil some crawfish, enjoy friends and family outside, your backyard. Front porch. Open up the doors and the windows. Let the breeze blow through the house. Air it out. No, just really, really nice weather. I was outside today. Took a little walk, few miles. Just gorgeous weather. Talking with some friends on that walk. It's pretty nice. So it's like, I live a rich life. Nothing to do with money. At all. Had nothing to do with money in the least bit. Just glorious weather day in my city, New Orleans, with my brother and a couple of good friends, walking around, having a great time today in the sunshine, talking and just enjoying ourselves, getting a little exercise. Perfect. Tough to beat. A rich life. And then, get right back down to work. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungeser joined us last hour for a good 10 minutes plus. He was in town. Governor Jeff Landry in town. Junket Cantrell in town. Amazing. Gail Benson also visiting. They're all talking about the Super Bowl. Lots of other big wigs and dignitaries and movers and shakers and New Orleans and Company, Greater New Orleans Inc., the tourism folks, hotel folks, restaurant folks, seafood folks. Super Bowl 59, February 9th, right here in New Orleans at the Superdome for the 8th time, 11th time for the city. Economic impact, that's always what we talk about. That is of vital importance. North of 500 million expected. Huge economic impact. Gets bigger every Super Bowl. CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, billionaires, wealthy, movers and shakers, decision makers, people that could come to New Orleans, people that will come to New Orleans, that if you get the right folks tapping into those folks, we could get thousands of jobs out of this Super Bowl and maybe hundreds of white-collar jobs in downtown high-rises. Need to work that angle. And then another important angle, just lighting a a fuse, putting a flame under our rear end, getting us motivated, a sense of urgency in the mañana city, New Orleans, tomorrow, next week, next month. Don't worry about it. The mayor in this city has the mañana attitude right now. This Super Bowl press conference is a catch-22. Instead of it just being, boy, 11 and a half months, we better get our ass moving. It's 11 and a half months. Mayor Cantrell's got a lot of other things on her mind. It should be ants on sugar cube type thing all over the city. Like you're driving down I-10 by the City Park exit, right by the train tracks there, the big concrete thing, repaint the murals, rip up all the weeds and crap growing up there, put in like a porous concrete so weeds can't grow, but it'll absorb water and help drainage, things like that. Let's get going. Let's get thinking. Let's get moving. Billy Nungeser was on last hour, had a few brilliant points. I've talked about it with Michael Eck from Greater New Orleans, Inc., the Kenner Airport to the CBD, that route. We need people from outside the city that aren't numb to things that we're numb to, that we accept because they've been there forever, like a pothole or mattress hanging over the bridge, whatever. Outsiders coming in and telling us, that doesn't look good, that doesn't look good, that looks good. Put a spotlight on that. Block that out. Billy talked about Lakefront Airport. Can't go down Morrison Road. No way. Can't go down Dowman, I should say, not Morrison. Can't go down Dowman. Sorry, last hour saying Morrison. Can't go down Dowman Road to Chef Highway and get on by the high rise. Is there, I mean, how about having folks come in from the airport and don't get on, the I-10, but take airline by Williams Boulevard instead. I mean, it's like 1950s out there. Same thing on Dowman Road. Dowman Road looks like 1950. It's broken. It's yesteryear. It's crusty. It looks like crap. Dowman Road at Chef is not some pretty stoplight. And then going up that ramp to the high rise, which is an old antiquated I-10 bridge, just crappy way to bring millionaires, billionaires, NFL owners, movers and shakers, CEOs, Fortune 500 folks flying in on their private jets. That says it all. They're flying in on their private jets to Lakefront Airport. Not a single car needs to come up Dowman. There need to be police under that train trellis or right around Dowman and Haynes. You're going the wrong way. Not even Haynes. You can't even go that far. Can't make it to the train trellis. Take the Seabrook Bridge. And then Leon C. Simon, force the exit onto Lakeshore Drive. Force them to exit onto Lakeshore Drive. So the rich and wealthy come from Lakefront Airport over the Seabrook Bridge onto Lakeshore Drive past Franklin. You don't want them going up Franklin to I-610 to come to New Orleans. Past Elysian Fields. You don't want them going up Elysian Fields to get on I-610 to come to New Orleans. Have them go up Canal Boulevard. Canal Boulevard. I mean, you think about it. Which one looks better? Which one looks better? Franklin, Elysian Fields, or Canal Boulevard? It's not even close. They go Seabrook Bridge, Lakeshore Drive, Canal Boulevard to I-610, loop around I-10 into the city. That's the only way in from the Lakefront Airport. No other way. Don't care what the GPS says. There are policemen and barricades only letting local traffic only. Super Bowl people, CBD, downtown New Orleans, this way. Big signs and arrows, lots of ads and things. French Quarter, jazz band, whatever, restaurants, whatever. Over the Seabrook, Lakeshore Drive exit to Canal Boulevard. No other exceptions. Have police at Franklin, have police at Elysian Fields. No other way. Canal Boulevard. Coming in from Kenner to the CBD, clean it up. Everything from the fencing to the neutral grounds, the grass, any kind of blight. I don't care if it's in Metairie, Jefferson, or New Orleans. You Metairie folks go, where's there blight in Jefferson on the I-10? It's there. We're numb to it. It's there. Outsiders will point it out. Lots of murals painted by local artists, lots of wraps, covers, like you see the big, athletes on 20-story buildings in cities, including New Orleans, when there's like a Super Bowl, NBA All-Star game, that type of thing. Have a lot of those things on blighted buildings. I mean, the Plaza Tower with the big thing on the top, keeping panels from falling, that thing needs to be one big wrap. I don't know what to do with the Plaza Tower. There needs to be a bunch of blighted buildings, painted, wrapped, fencing put up in front, trees put up in front, lots of trees planted, lots of greenery. It's got to move forward. Super Bowl's coming. New Orleans needs to look fantastic. No, would I like the whole city to get this? Yes. If that's what you're saying, why these areas and not the rest of the city that needs it more? I hear you. Because we have to impress the people coming in for the game. Have them see that impression and think that's everywhere in New Orleans. And then maybe they go back to Seattle or New York or LA or whatever and decide to bring some nice white-collar jobs to our CBD that pay six figures.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all of the time.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread. There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friends. friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
That's what you got to do sometimes. Take the bottle away from the person producing the show. Put the vodka down. Get back behind the controls. Run the program right. Holy smokes. Corey Johnson back at you. I'm going to bring Tolly, my Australian Shepherd, over. I'm going to let him come on in here. Let him take over the program. I'm going to put him in the studio with the producers. That'll straighten him out. No cigarettes and no drinking. Yeah, you're right. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Thanks so much for joining us. 5 o'clock powwow. 5 o'clock powwow this afternoon brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. Back in the late 40s, J.M. LePere, just a young kid, stepped on the dock on a shrimp. The shrimp stayed behind, or the peeling, and the shrimp squirted out. And he was like, wow, that's interesting. Had on the rubber boots, went home. The old, washing machine that you'd push the clothes through the 2 rubber wheels and turn the crank. He made some adjustments with that and came up with the first shrimp peeling machine. And then, of course, made it mechanical. And then had, it such a well-oiled machine, no pun intended, that a conveyor belt was used where you're just pouring the shrimp on the conveyor belt, and the conveyor belts loading them into the shrimp peeling machine, and peeled shrimp are coming out on the other end. Now, J.M. LePere was a genius. Now, if you've ever gone to like an old school grocery, in the olden days, they had those like rubber black conveyor belts with like the staples holding the belt together. Could you imagine running shrimp through that belt, on that belt? And then at the end of the day, what are you cleaning that like rubberized belt with that I guess is pseudo porous? You can't just wash it with soap and water. You have to clean it with things that will kill any bacteria, stuff on that shrimp that would make working the next day on that belt, dangerous. You could contaminate fresh shrimp with old, decaying matter on the conveyor belt. So J.M. LePere's like, I need a better conveyor belt than this rubberized thing that can be easily contaminated. And since we have to decontaminate it with, chemicals and other things, it's wearing these belts out. It's beating these belts up. How can I come up with a belt that's not porous, that's easy to clean, that I don't need to use harsh chemicals on, and is durable and doesn't wear out? The all-plastic modular conveyor belt, a bigger invention than the shrimp peeling machine that it was invented for. So J.M. LePere invents the shrimp peeling machine. It's the industry standard around the world. The conveyor belt from multiple conveyor belt companies all around the country, all around the world, they're all using similar technology, all inferior. He reinvents the conveyor belt. The best way I can describe the all-plastic modular conveyor belt, the old spiral notebook? Pretend it's made out of a solid piece of plastic. There are no pages. It's just a solid piece of plastic and the spiral rings are plastic. You remember as a kid, you'd put 2 spiral notebooks together, overrun the spirals and run like a pencil through them, and they'd be hooked together. That's what J.M. LePere did. All plastic modular conveyor belts, these plastic panels with rings down the side They overlap, and then they run an extruded plastic rod holding the two plastic panels together. Hence, the all-plastic, modular, different pieces. You can make all different kind of conveyor belts. The all-plastic modular conveyor belts used all around the world. Go to the Latrim website. I don't mean to, talk about this for long. It's just, it's amazing. It's interesting. It's New Orleans. It's mind-blowing. It's a genius at work. Go look at these Latrim conveyor belts that flip upside down, where they use suction or magnetics to hold things upside down, where they go from one floor to the next, to the third floor, to the fourth floor, where they're 20 feet wide and a truck is coming down a production assembly line being manufactured around the world. No, the shrimp peeling machine, industry standard around the world, made in New Orleans. The all-plastic modular Intralocks conveyor belts, made in New Orleans. New Orleans born and bred. New Orleans ideas. New Orleans patents. New Orleans workers. New Orleans based. Still privately owned by the LePaire Company. Latrim, a global manufacturing giant. They're hiring. You want to work for this incredible company, this world-class company? We're blessed in New Orleans to have this. We don't have a lot of these. Don't have a lot of these. Latrim.com is the website. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, Latrim.com. Latrim.com is the website. Full listing of positions available. They're hiring you East Bankers, West Bankers under the UEP Long Bridge in Elmwood. They got a North Shore facility on I-12. Pretty amazing. Talking about in Louisiana legislation where anyone can carry a gun. No concealed carry permit needed. Anyone can carry a gun. Right now, anyone can carry a gun out in open. Some people do. It's totally obnoxious. I don't know about you, but if I'm in a grocery store shopping and there's some man there strapping a gun and he's not law enforcement, I usually tend to leave the store. I don't know this guy. Is he normal? Is he an idiot? Is he trained to use the gun properly? What is it, about half of gun owners are like me? They get training to use the gun. The other half are just like, I'll figure it out on my own. Went to the range, just started shooting. It's like mind-blowing. I don't know. Do you go fishing? Do you hunt? Do you, play golf or tennis? I mean, if you duck hunt, you're using a gun. You learn over time how to lead the duck, where you're going to hit them, where you're not, wasted shot, real shot, all that. You learn from experience. Just got a shotgun, going duck hunting, and there are rules, there are regulations. Someone taught you how to properly use the gun. Maybe you started with a, 20 gauge or a 30-06 or something before you moved up to a 12 gauge, whatever. You learn those experience. I mean, driving a car, it's just, hey, here you go, handing out driver's licenses. You're 16. Go buy one at the Walmart, driver's license. You need to take a test. You're driving a vehicle. It requires a certain skill. A gun's no different. Anyone can load a gun and start pulling the trigger. Well, why do you think so many innocent people get killed in the inner city? These jokers aren't going to the range. They have no gun training. They just know you put the clip in, you pull the trigger, bullets come out. They go shoot it somewhere. They don't care if they're hitting the target or not. Man, I go to the range all the time, so I'll be proficient in the street. It's a bunch of clowns shooting sideways, wherever, spraying bullets everywhere, hitting everybody but the target. And then you gun zealots. Police shoot and train all the time. They're like you. They're great at the range. I'm great at the driving range in golf. And I'm pretty good with my pistol at the shooting range, hitting targets, especially for how, I've only been doing it like 6 months in this particular time period in my life. It's been a while since I've shot a gun up until 6 months ago. So I'm hitting targets. I'm pretty good at the range. Rangers, Navy SEALs, they're like 99% at the range. And in a real combat situation, they'll probably tell you, lucky if they're 50%. Police are less than that, like 30% hitting the target. But you, Mr. Protected by Smith & Wesson, you mess with me, I'll blow you. I got a so-and-so talk about the grain of the bullet. Well, what does that matter when you know what's hitting the fan? You're going to shoot yourself in the foot before you shoot the other person. Hey, TV audience, mañana. No, men are like... We're kind of dummies to begin with. We have pride and I'm right, you're wrong, let's fight kind of mentality. So you put men and guns together, kind of the machismo mentality. It emboldens a lot of men. Instead of, walking away, you'll stay and argue because you have a gun. You can always pull out that gun if you have to. It's crazy. I mean, there are people out there, clearly, am I right or wrong, that shouldn't have a driver's license. Seriously. I guarantee a good 5% of the population should at least be restricted from the interstate, can't drive on the interstate. Like a good 5% of drivers. No, we hand out driver's licenses like it's candy, but you still have to take a test. Still have to take a driving test. Still have to take a physical test before you get it. Gun, go to Academy Sports, Walmart. You can go buy a, Sig Sauer, a Glock, anything you want. No problem. Easy. A lot easier to get a gun than a driver's license. No, there's so many people that maybe shouldn't have a driver's license, and they're carrying guns. So you just get the meathead mentality, the dope that I'm ready to fight you. Like, you're like, dude, I don't want my shirt ripped. I don't want a broken arm. I don't need a tooth missing. You're not worth fighting. This discussion isn't worth fighting. Well, fighting? I mean, unless you push my mom down, my wife, girlfriend, child, we're not fighting. I'm not getting physical with you, But then you add the gun. And no, you just have a bunch of...
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
You're listening to The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
Cotton Bowl winning coach Willie Fritz joining us on the program. Have you ever been part of a game that great?
A lot of things happen in the game. You just don't know the script. You got to adapt and improvise. You just got to keep playing hard the whole time, and our guys did an excellent job of that.
How big is yesterday for the overall future of the program?
You got to have the guys that really have a burning desire to get a quality education and also be a great football player. You got to have both.
You've always have embraced New Orleans. Orleans. You've been a great ambassador for the city, for Tulane University.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. My wife and I just love it here in New Orleans. And just everybody, the city's just sensational. It was a dime for a person who came up to me after getting, I had tickets in the old Tulane Stadium. And, I've heard that a ton of times. And letting you know, that's good that we're able to make some people happy.
That's Willie Fritz joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Roll wave.
The spirit of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Hey, Lebanon's Cafe. I picked up lunch today from Lebanon's chicken shawarma, fried football kibbe, some tabbouleh. Excellent to-go orders. Indoor dining, outdoor dining. Tonight, are you kidding me? Look at this weather. Under the green awning, under the oak trees, on the streetcar line. Why don't you go get some lamb chops, some shish kebab, bring some friends, all your Middle Eastern favorites. Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. They're open till 9:30. Hey, you old Jefferson, old Metairie folks, you get to River Road at Causeway, 5 minutes to Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Yummy. Love me some Lebanon's Cafe. Good stuff. Hey, if you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungeser. We were talking about Super Bowl as the city prepares, 11 and a half months away. February 9th, 2025. It's a good thing it's leap year, huh? 29 days this month. We need the extra day. Seriously. It should already be like ants on a sugar cube in certain areas of the city. Just crews busting their tail, cleaning up, murals being painted and the like. No, from Lakefront Airport to the city. I mean, this one's an easy fix. You know, you don't even have to do much. Just make sure no one takes Dowman Road to the Chef and gets on I-10 to the high rise. I mean, is there anyone out there in New Orleans that thinks that's the route? Millionaires flying in, billionaires, NFL owners, CEOs, movers and shakers flying in on their private jet. I mean, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They're that loaded. They're flying in on a private jet to Lakefront Airport. Their jet is sitting there parked while they stay in New Orleans. You want them getting in their limo at Lakefront Airport and taking Dowman Road to Chef Highway and getting on the I-10 by the high rise? Or would you rather them go over the Seabrook Bridge onto Lakeshore Drive, past Franklin, past Elysian Fields, to Canal Boulevard, and take Canal Boulevard to I-610 and take that to the CBD? That's an easy fix. That's some police, some signage, Super Bowl, New Orleans downtown in arrows, locals only, keep them, police presence, to cop cars with sirens. No limo, don't turn onto Dowman Road. No limo, don't turn onto Franklin. No limo, don't turn onto Elysian Fields. No limo, don't take Paris Avenue. Yes, limo, turn left at Canal Boulevard. Yes. I don't care what your GPS is saying about Dowman Road. Lakeshore Drive, Canal Boulevard, I-610 to I-10 to downtown. And Kenner to the CBD to downtown, it all needs to be cleaned up. It needs to look our best. And then roads and, Billy Nungeser said it best. On Poydras in front of the Dome, there are potholes and sinkholes and big lips sticking up. Beats the crap out of your car right now in front of the Superdome. Take Poydras from Claiborne to St. Charles Avenue. Take that little 6-8 block run. Claiborne to St. Charles Avenue, about 8 blocks? There's all kind of potholes and beat up streets. It's got to be, Claiborne to the river, Poydras needs to be like glass. Canal Street like glass. Plant trees, plant shrubbery, greenery, lots of trees, lots of shrubbery everywhere, up and down the routes, in and out of the city, all around the Dome, all around the quarter, CBD, Warehouse District, Convention Center. Wherever there's a neutral ground, a piece of dirt, put a tree or a bush or a plant there. Blighted buildings, have them get graffiti artists to paint them, have big wraps with athletes, with New Orleans advertisement type things on it. Visit the French Quarter, go to the zoo, whatever. Lots of wraps, lots of murals, lots of greenery, lots of trees. Got a lot of cleanup to do, a lot of work to do. A lot. It's an endless list. We could come up with 1,000 things, 1,000. No, we need to get on it. Yesterday, this press conference, it's a catch-22. They're going, we got 11 and a half months. This is the city of New Orleans with the mañana attitude. These folks are going to wait 90 days from the Super Bowl. It's going to be the Saints season. Saints are going to be like, whatever, 6-7 games into the year, and New Orleans is going to start prepping for the Super Bowl. Got to do better than that. Now, the homeless encampments that are getting cleaned up, that's part of some federal money coming in, tens of millions of dollars to put homeless folks into apartments. It's just in time. It works out well. It's like, hey, first step to cleaning up for the Super Bowl. So that's great. And they're going to keep it clean because the Super Bowl. But that really didn't have anything to do with the Super Bowl. It would have happened anyway, because of this federal money. We need to have, like pretending that was part of the Super Bowl thing. We already need to have the Super Bowl thing going. The beautification of New Orleans, especially the routes in and out of the city, especially the areas where the tourists are going to be, that needs to be totally cleaned up, looking good, top-notch, as good as it gets. Overdue, like the Pope's coming to town. I don't mean to digress or regress. There is a great show. If you like great television, like Sopranos, you like Godfather, you like mafia type stuff, which America seems infatuated with. It's interesting. Forrest Whitaker is Bumpy Johnson in this Godfather of Harlem series on, I guess it's MGM now. Maybe it was Epix before that. I think it's MGM on cable or wherever you get your television. It's about Bumpy Johnson, a cousin of mine, who basically ran the Harlem's drug, heroin trade in the 60s in Harlem. And was friends with Malcolm X. If you've seen American Gangster with Denzel Washington, first off, the character he plays in that, trying to think of the name, and the character that Cuba Gooding Jr. plays. First off, the Cuba Gooding Jr. character might be the more significant drug dealer. And the Denzel Washington character, who's supposedly Bumpy Johnson's driver, which really isn't true, was the lesser of the two characters. And that's the American Gangster movie. And I apologize for forgetting the real names of the Cuba Gooding Jr. character and the Denzel Washington character. I usually know these because I've read about them and then I've seen the movie. Bumpy Johnson was the real deal. And Forrest Whitaker and all the other actors, it's like Sopranos or any of those high-end shows, dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of fantastic actors crushing their roles, great script writing, just incredible stuff. And it's based off of reality, off of Bumpy Johnson, the Mafia in Harlem. And there's just a great story, within there. If you remember the movie, another movie, Mississippi Burning, essentially about the Freedom Riders, the two Jewish kids, the black kid that came from New York and were registering black folks to vote in Mississippi. The KKK, the Philadelphia Sheriff's Office, which is the KKK back then, they arrested him. They let him out, letting the other sheriffs and KKK folks knowing they were going to be on the highway. They, basically murdered him. The feds come down looking for these three Freedom Riders. For like 2 months, they're getting nowhere because these dopey, redneck, incest, moron, KKK, sheriff folks in Philadelphia, Mississippi, they're dumb as dirt, but they're loyal and they're not saying a word. They know they're just smart enough to know to shut up and nothing will happen. If everyone shuts up, nothing will happen. The feds got nowhere for months. Finally, the feds got Bumpy Johnson to talk to his mafia connections. Mafia are, they might be mafia, they might be criminal, but they love America and they're Catholic. And they think that the KKK is a bunch of Nazis and they know the KKK hates Catholics. So Bumpy Johnson asked for a favor from the mob. Could you send a mob guy down? Grab a couple of these KKK goofballs, torture them until they tell you where these kids are buried, the Freedom Riders. And that's exactly how it went down. Within 24 hours, the feds had the earthen dam location, dug out the bodies. The mystery was solved. And then federal crimes, civil rights violations went down like 10 of these Mississippi goofy KKK sheriff's deputy types and KKK types were arrested, went to jail. But amazing how Bumpy Johnson, working with the Italian mob in New York and the feds knowing it, the FBI and the feds requested Bumpy Johnson to talk with the mob. Can the mob send down a guy? And the mob was glad to do it. They hated the KKK. Sent a guy down there. He basically tortured a couple of KKK guys or sheriff folks until they blurted out the info needed. No, the feds threw their hands up in the air and they said, boy, I guess we're going to have to deal with the KKK rednecks with the mob. And it worked. Amazing.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Ooh, Lord, Lord, my move. That's what I said. Ooh, Lord,
Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans. Leidenheimer French bread.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, everyone. It's Tommy Wrong for AsbestosMoneyGrab.com. This is not, I repeat, not for folks with real asbestos problems. But if you're like me and were maybe taking a shop class in high school where you maybe breathed in some brake dust and you know for certain you're fine, but you're the type of person that takes advantage of these types of situations, get tested, lawyer up, and steal some money like me. Go to I'm not really hurt at all, but like exploiting the system for free cash.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. Anyway, that Godfather of Harlem program, season 4 is coming up. I had watched all 3 seasons, over a year ago. But I'm now rewatching all 3 seasons. Season 4 is coming up in a few months. Just great television. Forrest Whitaker's incredible as Bumpy Johnson. All the actors are great. The writing's incredible. And it's like 90% true. I mean, I don't know about heroes. I think of my dad or someone like that. But yeah, I like Malcolm X a lot. I think it's just an incredible, intriguing American story. The more you know, the more interesting and intriguing it is. I love Malcolm X post-Mecca. I mean, like an American hero and just a force that was murdered by the Nation of Islam, by that joker, that child molester, Elijah Muhammad, that fraud, that farce. And then the guy, outside of Michael Jackson, who else can pull off wearing a Captain Crunch outfit? Oh, yeah, Louis Farrakhan. He was a big proponent, basically a contributor to Malcolm X's death. No, and what's left is that BS Nation of Islam with Louis Farrakhan, a farce, a joke. It's pathetic. It is a perverted version of Islam. No, and they murdered Malcolm X, who was an MLK type of American, that type of civil rights leader, especially post-Mecca trip when he went to Mecca and came back and realized, wow, that Muslims are black and white and all different kind of colors. They're not just black people. He just kind of got disillusioned with the Nation of Islam, and they got disillusioned with how popular he had become and how he was saying things that were more about black and white together and not this separation thing, and ended up killing him. No, a lot of Malcolm X in this, just a lot of great stuff. Real life characters. Lyndon Johnson, John F. Kennedy. Check it out on MGM. It is that good. I highly recommend it. No, and I love stuff that is very well done, well written, great acting, and happens to be about 90% true. So you're kind of getting a history lesson, and it's Hollywood. You gotta read and know what's reality and not. But this isn't like JFK and Oliver Stone, just, more than 50% of it made up and just fabricated, just nonsense. I mean, people that watch JFK and think it's like a documentary and it's true and maybe a few little liberties taken here and there. It is more liberties taken than reality. JFK is a joke. I mean, that is it's almost like a Quentin Tarantino movie. But Quentin Tarantino, the Hollywood movies, like, that's what we wish happened. But Manson and those losers did kill Sharon Tate and everyone. We changed the storyline. So it's different. You're suspending disbelief. JFK, Oliver Stone, he doesn't want you to suspend disbelief at all. He wants you to think that's a reality, like it's a documentary. And it's the farthest thing from a documentary. This is different. This is more, I'm not going to say it's like a documentary. It's not. It's Hollywood. But a lot of it is real, and a lot of it is deadly accurate. Like the mob being sent down to Mississippi to kidnap and torture these KKK guys and law enforcement folks until they gave up the information where the Freedom Riders were, and they did. And the mob and Bumpy Johnson gave that information to the FBI. And the next day, they dig up the 3 bodies of the Freedom Riders in the earthen dam outside of Philadelphia, Mississippi. Anyway, no, it's just a great story. Mississippi Burning, which came out in 1999. The Gene Hackman character said, let me bring in a specialist. They fly in this guy from up north. He kidnaps the mayor of the town and threatens to torture him to get the information. So like back then they had just part of the story. The FBI, someone came in, he called him like an FBI specialist. But the reality was it was a mob member, Italian mob member flying down from New York to Mississippi, renting a car, driving to rural Mississippi, kidnapping the KKK guys, torturing them, maybe murdering them until they gave the information out. And the very next day, those bodies were found. Just amazing. By 07 or 08, about 8 years after Mississippi Burning, it's all verified. Like you can Google this story and most of it's like 07, 08, where major reputable journalistic-based outlets are telling the story. How the FBI, after 2 months of frustration, seeked out Bumpy Johnson and the Italian mafia. Can you guys get someone down there, kidnap, do whatever you have to do? We need answers where these 3 kids are. We're getting nowhere. They found the 3 kids and they arrested about 10 of these KKK redneck incest sheriff type losers from Mississippi. And the rest is history. It's crazy. Crazy. The feds were just like, man, we're getting nowhere. We're not in the torturing business. What are we going to do? We can't break laws. Why don't we just bring in the mob and act like we didn't know and look the other way? Wow. Amazing. Hey, this program on radio, on television, on YouTube, every weekday afternoon, 4 to 6 o'clock, brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. That's Lamarck Ford, the big store in Kennebra, #1 Ford dealership in the region. That's Lamarck Lincoln, #1 Lincoln dealership in the state. Ronnie Lamarck Jr. now involved heavily. It's like a 50-50 deal, father-son thing. They scooped up Crescent City Ford, the legendary truck dealership in Elmwood. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex, and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford. What's that, Blue Boy? Billy Nungeser was good talking about Super Bowl at 4:20 earlier. Folks can check it out on YouTube. Good call, Blue Boy. What else? See everybody tomorrow, straight up 4 o'clock. Blue Boy, I couldn't do it without you.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend and Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.